Hello everyone, this is Andrew Barr with MyCrypto Guru, and welcome to another free lecture as far as how to work with cryptocurrencies. This one's going to be about how to use Coinbase and the basics of using an exchange in general. So as always, I don't teach you trading strategies. Sorry, my cat jumped up here a minute ago and now I've got fur all over my face. I don't teach trading strategies. You have to decide those for yourself. I'm a long-term kind of orchard grower, as most of you guys know. So I don't really deal in day-to-day trades, and you'll see that in my accounts that they're not really all that active when we go in here in a second. So we're going to open up my Coinbase Pro account, but before we do, I want to give you an idea of how exchanges work, because this is going to be information across all exchanges, and primarily what are the three order types that you're going to see in most exchanges. Technically, there's going to be, oh man, well, that hair's all over. There's technically going to be four order types, but the fourth one is just a variation of the same one. So the first order type you're going to see, and this is the one you're going to run into the most, because if you put an order in on the bigger exchanges or the more advanced exchanges like Coinbase Pro or Binance.us, you're going to just automatically be putting in a limit order. That's what they default to. So the main types of orders are limit, market, stop limit, and stop order, which is basically a stop market order. The limit order is where, as we show here on the screen, okay, I just pulled up somebody's website here. You are putting an order in to buy or sell at a particular price. So let's say Bitcoin is trading at $1, which I know we all wish we were back to, but let's just say Bitcoin is trading at $1, and you go, I want to buy. So you will go in there and you will place a limit order, and it will probably come up with an automatic limit order of, let's say, 98 cents. It'll come in a little bit below market price. And if Bitcoin hits 98 cents, you will buy. So if you put an order in for 50 cents, well, if it hits 50 cents, you will buy at that price, and the order just sits there. Most of the orders you're going to see are good till canceled. You can put a time limit on orders on most more advanced exchanges. But this is going to be a little beyond what we're going to talk about here, because again, that's more trading strategy. You'll see those in the exchanges as you place the order. A market order is okay. So let's go back to a limit order. If you place a limit order for a price and it never hits that price, that's your risk, is that you may never buy that security. But if you don't want to get it at a price outside of XYZ, well, the limit order is what you're going to use. Now, a market order is just, I don't really care what the price is. I just want to buy 10 shares of something, or 100 units, or $1,000 worth, or whatever. And it will just simply go and take those limit orders that we just talked about. I'll show you those in the books here in a minute. It will take those limit orders and say, okay, well, you want to buy 100 shares, let's say, or $1,000 worth. In crypto, we're really talking in units of dollars because they're so divisible. So I want to buy $1,000 worth. Well, it's going to take the lowest price sell limit orders that are on the books, and it's going to fill your order, ticking those up in price. Meaning you're not guaranteeing the price that you're going to get. You're just guaranteeing that you're going to get the commodity. So if you place a limit order for say something like $10,000 worth, and you go look at your trade history, you will probably see 4 to 6 different little orders that executed to grab those in at different prices based on what it could grab out of the market at the time on who was selling X amount for what price. So anyway, the market order is good if you just want to get the commodity and like, look, man, I just want to get this in my books and I just want to hold on to it. I'm not really worried about a little variance in price. A limit order is good if you're not necessarily concerned about getting the commodity, but you want the commodity at a particular price. Now we go into a stop limit, okay? A stop loss, stop limit, stop market order. A stop order, as it shows here, is also known as a stop loss order. It's an order to buy or sell a stock once the price of a stock reaches a specified price. Well, that sounds like a limit order, okay? But what this actually does, Coinbase Pro typically throws in stop limit orders. That's their default. The stop order will go, okay, I've got two numbers here. If the price of Bitcoin is $1, and I'm going to put a stop loss in there that says, look, I've got a bunch of Bitcoin, and if it hits 90 cents, I'm scared of losing all my money. So I'm going to put a stop loss in there that says, look, if it drops 5%, if it drops to 95 cents, I want this order to be thrown onto the books. I want this order to go, I'm either going to sell them all at market price, stop loss order, or I'm going to sell them all at a particular price, a stop limit order. That's what I'm getting at. They're two basically the same thing. So the nice thing about a stop loss order is that your order is not visible to other people until the stop price is visible or is hit. So if you want to put this big order in there that says I'm willing to sell a bunch of Bitcoin if it gets down to 90 cents, and you don't want people to see that order on the books, put a stop order in there that says, okay, when it hits 91, I want this order to be thrown into the books and say I'm willing to sell at 90. I don't want to encourage people to go down to 90 to try and get it from me, okay? But if it does, then I'm willing to get rid of it for that. Or another way to do it, I don't think any of us are going to hit that kind of level where we're putting, $10 million orders out. Or if you put a stop limit order out there to sell, okay, and you just wanted to simply, let's say, what am I trying to say here? Well, think of a stop limit order as a trigger to place an order on your behalf. That's basically what it is. That's how we should look at this, okay? That's probably a better way to explain it. I want an order to go in if this happens. If it gets above this, maybe I want to buy more, maybe I want to sell more. If it gets below this, again, maybe I want to buy more, maybe I want to sell more, but you can put that in there and it triggers based on a certain price. So that's what a stop loss order, or a stop limit order, or a stop market order is. Anyway, so we're over that. I'm going to show you my Coinbase account, and don't worry, guys, it is ridiculously locked down. I've turned off some of the extra security I have on this and changed some things around. But if you want to try and steal my $336.62, I guess we'll go ahead. So let's first talk about Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Coinbase, as I explained to most people when they ask me, is kind of the Apple version of exchanges. It's very, very simple to use. There's not a whole lot of stuff on the screen. It's kind of a basic interface. But what's good about that is that it's hard to screw up. They only accept market orders. And what do we talk about market orders? Market orders are simply, I want to buy and sell whatever the market price is at the time. Okay? That's a market order. So they only accept market orders, so you can't go in there and dramatically screw things up. Okay? So Coinbase is nice. It's a nice place to start. And what I also like about Coinbase, standard Coinbase, is that you're able to set up an automatic withdrawal. So let's say you just want to, this is a good strategy actually. A lot of you guys are new into this, obviously, because you're watching my videos. So you want to get into Bitcoin, but you're like, man, I just don't know when to buy. I don't know when it's going to go up. I don't know when it's going to go down. Well, guess what? No one knows when it's going to go up and down. So people who are holding long-term in commodities that have a history, right? And some people think it might be overpriced. I still don't think we are. I think we have a lot of room to grow. But what they'll do is something called dollar cost averaging. Instead of worrying about is it up or down or where is it going to be next week or whatever, they will simply go, and this is what I tell a lot of you guys when you ask me, I want to put $10,000 into Bitcoin. Okay, my suggestion is take your 10,000, divide it across 10 or 20 days, and do an automatic withdrawal of $1,000 or $500 every day. And just let Coinbase grab it in. You're going to pay a little bit more in fees, but you know what? Just to have the peace of mind to know it's going to go in, not second guess yourself, and just to get the commodity in your pocket and starting to work with it is worth it. Okay? So it goes back to another situation. Difference between Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Coinbase is, again, the Apple-esque. Very, very simple, very easy to use, very clean, very white. As far as the interface goes, it's got a very Apple feel to it. Then you go over to Coinbase Pro, which looks like somebody threw up on the page. So what we have here is a complete difference between the two. Coinbase Pro is for people who know what's going on and know what a limit order is and know their strategies and all that. And Coinbase for people who just want to buy and hold. Again, Apple, Android. Coinbase charges around 1.5% per trade, depending on if you use a debit card or credit card or bank account or whatever. Coinbase Pro starts at 0.5%. Okay, so 1/3 the charge. And the more you do with Coinbase, the lower your fee gets. Okay, so again, geared towards professional traders. So let's go over to Coinbase. Okay, and I'm I'm going to go over a couple questions that I get from people. First of all, the best thing I can tell you with Coinbase, Coinbase Pro, any of them, well, okay, is security. Let me go back a bit. Understand, if you make an account on Coinbase, you do have to get yourself approved for Coinbase Pro, but the same login, password, and your two-factor authentication, which I'm going to show you how to set up here in a minute, will work on all those. Okay, so if you want to, get an account on Coinbase and have Coinbase Pro in the background, we'll just go take your Coinbase account you got approved for, go over to Coinbase Pro, log in, and set up the system to approve you for Coinbase Pro. Okay, and now you can use both if you want to. Okay, so there are times where I use Coinbase again for my automatic withdrawals, for my just weekly. I just want to buy $50 a week kind of deals. Coinbase Pro I use for most of my trading now. So let's go back to Coinbase, and under my account over here on the right, okay, little Andrew, right? I'm not worried about that. This is my little demo account. So we go into Profile, and we go into Security. Okay? Right here, you'll see Authenticator. You have to please set up your Google Authenticator. Okay? Now you're going to search, if you have an Android or an Apple. I'll show you what this looks like. You can get Google Authenticator on both. Here's your icon. That's the icon for under Android. That's your icon for under Apple. And what you'll do under here when you set up your Authenticator, it's going to give you a QR code, and it's going to give you a long string of digits. Okay? Keep that string of digits. That string of digits is kind of like your seed for your Bitcoin wallet. With that, you can recreate your Authenticator code anywhere and get back into your account if you lose your phone or mess things up. So keep that with your seed. Okay? Wherever you are trusting your seed to exist, keep that with your seed. Now, this app right here will hold it for you. But again, okay, so this app right here is encrypted on your phone. Meaning, if you lose your phone, if you destroy your phone, if you get a new phone for any reason, the codes that are in the Google Authenticator will not go with you. There is another authenticator app called Authy. Personally, I'm not really big on having backups that I can shove down in the cloud and that kind of thing. I like to have them written down physically. If you want to use Authy, that's fine. Me personally, I use Google Authenticator. Authy will actually go from phone to phone. Personally, I think that's a security problem, but that's just my personal opinion. It has no reflection on the software itself. The software is actually very good. But I like to hold my own codes. I like to hold my own seed, etc., etc. So anyway, so Google Authenticator, just understand the downside of this is that it will not go from phone to phone with you. You need to write down your two-factor authentication codes when you put them in and keep them in a safe place in case you need to type them back in to recreate. Okay? Okay, so again, here we are. In my account, I've got $335 in Bitcoin. Well, sorry. I've got $328.94 in Bitcoin. And I've got $6.50 in OMG that I really don't remember buying. And I've got, let's see here. Well, that's it. No dollars, no nothing. What I have is in my bank account, I guess. So if you want to buy or sell with Coinbase Standard, it's very, very simple. You simply click buy or sell after you've set up your account, okay? After you've connected to a bank account, after you've connected to a debit card, whatever fee you want to pay. Keep in mind, for a debit card, they charge 4%, okay? So, and they'll charge more than that, a higher percentage of that, if you get under $200 in sales or in purchases. So you need to go through the fees of Coinbase and just make sure it's exactly how you want it to work for you, because it's not just 1.5 flat for any kind of trade. That damn cat here won't go away. So we'll do a buy-sell. Very simple. We pick out the commodity that we want. Who would want that? So let's go down to, let's say, Chainlink. That's a good one. Use the bank account that I've connected to it. Okay? And I put in how much dollars, how many dollars I want to, how much dollars? How many dollars, how much money I want to use to buy my Chainlink. So if I do 500, right? I'll go down here to preview buy. It's going to tell me how much Chainlink I'm going to buy for that $500. What's the fee that they're charging me? Okay? And then I can turn around and I can click buy. Now, selling, same way. I go to sell. I say I have Bitcoin that I want to sell. I can click the button sell all, and what that's going to do is just take whatever Bitcoin I have in my account, okay, and it's going to cash it out for me. Here's the price it's cashing it out at, okay. Sale, there's your fees. That's how much is going to go into my account in total dollar value. And of course, convert is switch one currency to another. If I want to take Bitcoin, I want to convert it to Ethereum. I don't tend to like those kind of markets because the conversion markets tend to be much smaller. They tend to be more volatile. It's just not my thing. I like to work in dollars because that's what I know. People who have been in crypto for, well, I mean, I've been in crypto since 2011, but people who are younger, let me say that, who are more used to working with crypto in their head, they have a tendency to be fine with these kind of markets. Not really my thing. If you're going to do a Bitcoin to Ethereum or Ethereum to any other currency, whatever currency to whatever currency, I always suggest you look at the conversion rate they're giving you, compare it out to what you could get if you could just sell it for dollars and then buy it back for dollars. Because again, the dollar markets are every market I've seen, every exchange I've seen, the dollar markets have been bigger, less volatile, more people, more liquid, okay, as far as more money going in and out of them than the standard, currency to currency exchanges. So, man, what is the deal? I gotta shave that cat. So that's the basics of Coinbase. One question I wanted to answer here is what happens to my money? I get this question actually a lot more than I thought I would. What happens to my dollars if I sell my crypto on an exchange? Well, your crypto exchanges have a dollar value. Okay, they have a dollar account for you. So here's my US dollar account. If I sell, I can do USD coin, which is just a stable coin tied to the dollar. But I can do a US dollar. If I sell my Bitcoin, I can send it to USD coin for stable coin, or I can keep it in the dollar value of my account. I can transfer dollars from my bank to the dollar bank account on my crypto exchange as well. So you don't have to take the money out right away. You leave it in there and you use it. Now, why would I use a stable coin over leaving it in just US dollars? Well, because I can move a stable coin from Coinbase over to Coinbase Pro, over to Gemini, over to Kraken, over to Binance in a few minutes. Okay. Whereas if I want to use US dollars, I have to transfer it from one to the other, typically 24 hours. Or if it's a wire, if it's a large amount, it'll go by wire. And that'll be anywhere from 5 to 6 days, depending. Could go in 3. But anyway, you get the idea. Stable coins, oh, man, I apologize. This is driving me nuts. Stable coins move between exchanges much more quickly than the US dollar is going to. So that's why people use stable coins. Now, let's go over to, let me mark these off. We talked about all these. Okay. I'm going to show you very quickly, because Coinbase and Coinbase Pro are different markets, but the same company. You can move Bitcoin. Let's go over here to portfolio. So we're going to go in my coin. Let's say I want to move my Bitcoin from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro. Okay. Now, what's nice is that moving them from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro, because they are the same company, they stay internal. They don't hit the Bitcoin network to do a transfer. You're not moving them really from one to the other. You're moving from Coinbase to Coinbase Pro, all inside the same ecosystem. So if I want to send, it didn't cost me anything is what I'm getting at. If I want to send to Coinbase Pro, first I have to get my receiving wallet address. Okay? So I will go into, sorry, clicked the wrong thing. Deposit over here on the right, portfolio, deposit. Tell it which currency I want to deposit. Okay, these are my current balances. And it's going to be from Coinbase. I'm going to deposit from Coinbase. So, from my Coinbase account, because again, they are the same account, it automatically knows my Coinbase account balance. It's going to go to this default portfolio here. I'm going to send the max amount. Okay. And you can see over here 0.00727,435. 0.00727,435. There's no fees, so there's no loss. Okay? Deposit. You're going to see me immediately receive that. because I stayed in the ecosystem. There's no 10-minute wait to wait for a block to actually, a miner to confirm it, et cetera, et cetera. I'm staying within Coinbase. So they're just moving it from one account to the other inside of Coinbase. So it's an instantaneous free exchange. Okay? So that's how you move your cryptos from one to the other. If you wanted to do it, let's say from Binance over to Coinbase Pro, let's say, you would simply go deposit, pick your currency. I want to do it through a crypto address because I'm not doing it from Coinbase. I'm doing it from a crypto address. Okay. I only send Bitcoin. This is ridiculously important. Bitcoin Cash and some other hard forks of Bitcoin use the same addressing scheme. So you want to double, triple check that you're only sending Bitcoin to this address. Okay? Because those addresses, this address down at the bottom will look the same. Okay? They will look the same if you're on Bitcoin Cash or some of the other hard forks of Bitcoin. So the system doesn't know that you're trying to send Bitcoin there. It just knows you clicked on Bitcoin Cash, you put in this address that looks legitimate because they're the same. They were the same network at one time. And now I want to send this over to this other new address here. There's no way for it to stop you. There's no way for it to know. I cannot stress enough. I've had more people contact me saying I accidentally sent Bitcoin to a Bitcoin Cash address, and your ability to get that back is entirely dependent on whether or not the exchange is willing to help you. I've never dealt with Coinbase on this situation. I don't know if they're able to get it back for you. There's a lot of exchanges that can't because they just can't, or they won't. You know, that's probably more what it is. They won't. It's actually quite involved to get your coins back if you send them to the wrong address. So I can understand why they're not just beating down your door to try and do it for you. Anyway, so you've got this address here. If you're sending it from a mobile wallet, let's say my phone, I can open up my Mycelium and I can go click on the QR code and it automatically types that address in. Otherwise, I can click this little two pieces of paper here. You see that? Kind of towards the middle bottom, right? I can click that. That will copy that to my clipboard. I can go over to the other exchange. Okay. Let's say I want to send, right? I'm going to do it a little different way. Oh, I don't have any Bitcoin to send. I just sent it. That's right. But if I wanted to, I can hit Control V and I can drop that address in there. Okay? Now, we're not doing OMG. I don't have any Bitcoin anymore, so I just moved it. So you get the idea. Now keep in mind, if you set up, again, your ID, password, and two-factor authentication will work for Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. It's one of the reasons I like to start people here. So if you go over to Coinbase and you set up two-factor authentication, it automatically becomes your two-factor authentication for Coinbase Pro. You don't have to set up another one. So we've already got two-factor authentication up on this video here, right, or up on this account right here. So let's take a look at a market. I'm going to give you a little idea of how this works because it looks like an absolute cluster. So up here at the top, you see that the last trade price, $45,277.07. 24-hour change, total volume. They've had nearly 24,000 Bitcoin move through this exchange in the last 24 hours. Okay, so they're averaging a little under 1,000 Bitcoin an hour, which is a pretty decent liquid market. Okay, now over here on the left, I've got my wallet balance. What can I play with? Okay, and if you scroll down a bit, you'll see your market, limit, and stop orders. Again, market just goes, I want to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin or whatever number I type in. Okay. I want to buy X amount. I don't really care what the price is. I just simply want to get it. Okay. This one here, limit order, is I'm more worried about the price than I am the amount. I want to buy a certain amount of Bitcoin for a certain dollar value. So if I want to buy one Bitcoin and I want to put a limit price in, right now we're at 45,277. Maybe I want to buy it if it drops down to 44,500. Okay, you can see your fee down to the bottom. It'll hold this for you. By default, it's good till canceled. You have to remember this. This is going to sit in the back of your account, okay, as an order unfulfilled. If Bitcoin hits 44,500 2 weeks from now, that order will fill because I never canceled it. So it's good sometimes to set a time limit. It says, look, I want to set it for so many minutes, hours, days, I want to have it in there till canceled. I want it to be filled right away or canceled, which is interesting because that's basically a market order. But, you know, it's one of those, like, it's a market order unless it doesn't hit the price. So there's still a little bit of protection there as far as the price go. And then, of course, fill or kill, which is very similar. And then we've got our stop order. If Bitcoin hits 45,000, I want you to buy 1 Bitcoin for me, and I want you to try and get it at 44,550. Okay, that's a stop limit price. Okay, or a stop limit order. Does that make sense? The fees on those are a little bit higher. So you got your fees, you got your total, what's going to cost you, etc. Right? Selling is kind of the same thing. Market, limit, stop, except just in reverse. I want to sell at a certain price. If it gets up to this price, I want to sell. Stop order, you can still do a stop sell order that says, look, if it gets down to this price or up to this price, execute this order on top of it, whatever. So you get the idea. Personally, when I'm just gathering Satoshis and, the market is like it is right now, where it's very liquid and the prices are very close to each other, I usually just put in a market order. That's just my personal opinion. But if I think that Bitcoin is going to have a downturn like it did last Sunday, which is pretty standard for a Sunday after a big run up like that, then I will go ahead and put an order in that says, look, I think it might go down 10%. I'll put a limit order in at 9% below current market price, and then I may be able to pick up some a little bit cheaper. So anyway, that's some ideas on how to use market limit stop orders. Again, I don't really give trading advice. I just kind of tell you, hey, this is kind of what I do for the very, very, very few trades that I do. Anyway, so again, deposit withdrawal, you can do that from this window here. If I want to deposit, I can pick my currency again, tick, tick, all the way down. Now, let me explain to you kind of what's going on this screen, because this screen is, again, just absolute madness. So over here on the left, you have your sell orders, okay? And you have your buy orders. I'm willing to sell it at $45,882.91. That's what some guy is saying. He's willing to sell 0.001. And this one over here is saying I'm willing to buy it at $45,899. Now, if you put a market order in, see how these are ticking by way too fast. Let's just say each of these are worth 0.2 Bitcoin, okay? And you put an order in that says I want to buy 4 Bitcoin. It's going to go up these sell orders, the lowest first, and just start filling that order for you all the way down, or all the way up, all the way up. If you want to sell at the market price, conversely, it's going to go on these buy orders, okay, and it's going to fill the highest buy order consecutively down until your total amount is filled, either by dollar or by number of Bitcoin. So what you're seeing when you see last trade price is, you'll notice there's always a little difference here. This is 50 cents, this is 87 cents. There's a little bit of a spread there. They want to sell at a certain price, they want to buy at a certain price. What you're seeing in these last trade prices is the last price that was executed. So somebody put a market order in and they bought or sold at that price. And that's when you see Bitcoin move up and down, or any other commodity move up and down. That's what you're seeing over here as far as these orders getting placed on the books. There is either a computer system or an institution or an individual behind those orders that has put those orders in. That is not, and I want to stress this, I get this question a lot too. I want to stress, this is not the exchange making this. The exchange doesn't make the price. It's you and I putting these orders in that you and I buy or sell at that makes the price. Now, over here on the right, you'll see trade history. You can see a general green, which means the price is moving up. There's more buy orders being filled than sell orders, okay? Well, take that back. One more sell orders got filled. So this is the history. This will give you kind of a general idea. This is, a bunch of sell orders. So this is kind of a, I kind of liken this screen over here on the right, and in the middle, kind of you can see the candlesticks, kind of the same thing. What you're seeing is a general sense of a bunch of orders in. Positive, that's what a candlestick is. Are there more positive orders going in that are being filled, or negative orders, selling orders going in that are being filled? And that's the spread that you're seeing on those candlesticks. So over here on the right, I kind of liken this to when you go up to a roulette wheel, and it says these balls have hit recently. Okay, it's kind of the same thing. It just gives you a general history of how the table is working, so to speak. Anyway, so that's kind of how Coinbase and Coinbase Pro work. two-factor authentication. Hopefully I answered a good chunk of your questions in this, and I didn't get too stupid with it. It took me about 10 minutes to get my cat to leave me alone. We talked about the fees, we talked about the market orders and all that stuff. Anyway, if you like what you see, come over to MyCrypto Guru on Facebook. Don't search for us as MyCrypto Guru because people have made some fake accounts and I can't seem to get them taken down at the moment. But if you go to facebook.com/, and I'll put the link up, MyCrypto Guru, that'll take you straight to the Facebook page. You add yourself there, and then you can get in on these free lectures and we can talk about some of these concepts. I'm going to be making a video here pretty soon on how to set up your treasure device. I already took the class. I taught at the university and put that on Udemy. You can search for my last name if you're looking for that. And, what was the last thing I was going to say? I'm not very scripted in this anymore. And we'll be doing a video on BlockFi here pretty soon. I have done a lot of DeFi research, and I think BlockFi is the one that I really like. So, anyway, you guys have a good day. And again, if you have any questions, send me something over on MyCrypto Guru, and we can go from there. Thanks. See ya.